All right.
All
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, welcome
What's
to the
happening?
Opinion City Podcast. I am King Ralph. He's Parmesan. We're your hosts.
What up?
And we are on the road to episode 100.
Yes, we are.
And the road
So
to
close.
our second year anniversary. And we are here at episode 95.
95.
And we got a big one today. Personally,
Big
for
one.
me, this is a huge one because
Huge.
we've wanted to get this guy on. He is super cool.
Super
And
cool.
we are so excited to be talking to Crash Maverick today. And Sean, Crash has a very awesome top five. Yes.
Apropos top 5. Top
Indeed.
5
So-
action movies.
yeah, absolutely.
excited.
So, yes. So make sure you stick around for the main event top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, Sean, I think it's about time to
I
get that
think
party
it's time.
started.
So let's
Episode
go
95 starts right now.
right now.
All right. And we are back. And look
There
who
it is.
It is Mr. Thumbs Up himself.
The Lord of the
Sean.
Thumbs.
Yes, the Lord of the Thumbs.
I love
Hollywood Crash Maverick. Oh man, we are so excited to have you on the
So
show
excited
today.
to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for having me. That intro is cool. This is way more professional than I was expecting. No
Yeah.
hate on you guys, but I was just
Wow.
you
Listen,
pop on here. It's like a full production, and
Oh, yeah.
it's perfect
Yeah,
for
man.
Hollywood
We go-
Crash Maverick.
Exactly.
We go
Got
all out
gotta
with-
gotta go do the Hollywood theme with the
Yeah.
Hollywood, you
And I'll
know.
hit it one more
Yeah.
time, and then
Yeah. Boom. Awesome. All right, so let's start at the beginning here.
Let's go.
And for those of you who have not seen Royalty Wrestling, have not been at the amazing
Check it
Pro
out.
Wrestling workout, who, in your own words, is Crash Maverick?
that's a good one. So we're going way back. So Crash Maverick, as a person, is a adopted middle child golden retriever.
Oh.
So, yeah, middle child, he wants the attention. That's why he's coming out with the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Everybody look at me. Don't pay attention to the older or the youngest child. Look
Right.
at me.
Mhm.
Golden retriever energy. However, he's adopted. He was in the
Mhm.
shelters. So when he's in the ring, there's a little bit of an edge to him
Yeah.
because he does
okay.
want to stand out. He wants to win.
Sure.
However, like I said, golden retriever. So if you're on his good side,
Hmm.
you know,
Awesome.
So,
that's
how
the
did you
first
come-
time anybody has described themselves as a dog. by the
Yeah,
way.
it's just
Like, I mean, I'm all down for it, but it is
I mean,
a
it's-
first on
listen,
the podcast.
that's like my language. Like how,
Yeah.
yeah. References
Dogs.
are just dogs. Yeah.
just dogs.
Yeah. How was
What's up-
vacation?
what's
But
up, my
explain it
dog?
to me. Yeah. In dog form. It was a 13-year-old pit bull. It was like, ooh,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh,
Do you
all right.
yourself have a dog?
I currently do not. I wish I could, but where I
Mhm.
live, they don't allow dogs. So
Mm.
Gotcha.
all my
Okay.
friends' dogs, I just kind of claimed as my own.
These are all my dogs, not
They're all-
yours.
yeah.
They're all mine. They're just,
Yeah.
Just-
they
just
just
adopt
get to
them all
live
in.
with you guys. Yeah. But
Right.
really, they're mine.
Right. So, how did you come up with the look and the like everything about your character?
It was really like once I started, it was like I just didn't want to be generic wrestler 02 from SmackDown
Right.
vs. Raw, or you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
there's 1,000 of them, and a little
Right.
bit you got to find yourself. But it was kind of like going like who am I like in my real life that I can like turn up a little bit.
Mhm.
And it is somebody that doesn't take themselves super seriously. So like if I'm trying to go out there and be this super serious, dark character. It
Yeah.
wasn't going to be work. It was going to come across forced. So for me, it was just trying to find something I could personally like relate to, amp up a little bit, and that way it's not hard work.
Right.
And like in my real life, if you go back to like baby photos of Crash Maverick, I'm probably giving a thumbs up.
Oh,
Like
Even
Now
at
we're
birth,
talking.
giving a
even at
thumbs
birth,
up.
like I just came out, boom, thumbs up.
yeah.
It's just like it's a genuine way I was expressing myself. And then
Right.
when I thinking of like, oh, what can I do when I come out that's unique? And it's like you can give high fives, everybody does that. But and I didn't really know if this would work, but coming out and like just giving a little thumbs up with the fist bump, it's like people
Right.
remember it. It's like, oh, you're the
yeah.
guy with the thumbs up. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah.
That's,
And then I
that's
have
pretty
two pair of
smart.
sunglasses, and it's like now I have to do that forever
Yeah.
because people are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I love that, that flip you did out of the ring. That's cool. But we loved when you had sunglasses, you took it off and there was more sunglasses.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah,
that
all
was
Yeah,
the
that
best.
was the best part.
of all the things they remember about you, it's not
Yeah.
the moves, it's not the
Nope.
match, it's not the win.
Nope.
It's the sunglasses.
exactly.
Which was a good, I think, a wrestling thing for me. It's like, oh, maybe I don't have to do much. I just have to have two pair of sunglasses,
Right.
indoors
Yeah.
in a dark setting, and people are like, I love that guy, or they hate him. I don't know.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So, would you say, because there's some obvious comparisons,
Yes.
there's some obvious similarities, but would you
Mhm.
say that there was any inspiration for your character from a certain, as my wife calls him, Orange Julius, but we'll call him Orange Cassidy?
Orange Julius.
Yes.
Oddly enough, directly, no.
Mhm.
I hate saying that because it's like, yeah, I came up with this great idea that's already been done before.
Right.
Um,
Right.
It was really not until people started to mention it, and I was kind of like,
Hmm.
oh, you're right. And it doesn't help that I think visually I kind of look the same. Like, I mean,
Right.
hairstyle,
Very
I'm
similar.
coming out with sunglasses, I'm doing a
Yeah.
thumbs up, but I think it's different. But since the comparison's already out there, I'm like, all right, I got to try and get away from it.
Yeah.
Little,
Well, I will say this. I've seen you wrestle 3 times now. And I don't, when I see you come out and I see the glasses and I see the thumbs up, I don't think Orange Cassidy. I think like, hey, this guy's cool.
Right.
that's all I'm
Yeah.
going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Just a
people say.
cool guy.
Yeah.
Wow, that guy's cool. Yeah.
Cool as the Fonz.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
It's way better than being like, oh, that guy sucks. Never.
Yeah,
was good.
right.
Sucks. Right.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
man.
Bring us back to the beginning and sort of talk to us about when your wrestling journey kind of began for you.
Like professionally or
Yes.
as a fan?
Well, let's
would
start
you-
with professional.
Yeah, let's start with
Professionally,
professionally
all right.
first.
So
Yeah.
I've been training officially. It's been actually probably about exactly 1 year now.
Okay.
It was never, obviously as a kid, it was like, oh, I want to grow up and I want to be Batista.
Right, yeah.
Then I turned 15, 16, and I was like, oh, you're not going to be 6'4" and weigh 350 pounds. That's not on the cards for you. So I kind of like got away from that dream. And then randomly, about a year ago, I was at a point in my life where I was like, I need something. Like I was just working and it was getting like kind of repetitive. I was waking up doing the same thing and I didn't know what I was going to do. If it was going to be signing up for a CrossFit gym or rock climbing or whatever people do in their late 20s. What most people don't do that I decided to do was I was on Facebook doom scrolling as everybody does at night. And I saw this ad it was from Pro Wrestling Workout about a free intro to pro wrestling workshop at the Wrestle Factory in Copley, Pennsylvania. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I looked at my calendar, couldn't make that. So I was like, oh, dream's dead again.
Oh, no.
But then I went on the website, did some
Right.
digging, and I saw they had a 7-week beginner 101. And I looked at the price and I thought, why not? Like it's 7 weeks of your time. You can, and that was the goal. I was like, I'll just do 7 weeks and then, I don't know, do something else, do parkour.
Right.
Yeah.
But once I got there and I was like, oh, I can, like always stayed in shape. I could always do flips. Like I kind of knew I could still do them. Like I have a young niece who was starting gymnastics, cheerleading. And she would
Okay.
do like a cartwheel and I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Look at Uncle Crash. And I do like a backflip 360. And like, keep trying.
Shaming
Right.
little
Yeah.
children. That's
Uncle
great.
of the year. Not me.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. That's
There.
crazy. It's
Uncle.
funny you mentioned.
You're right.
there you
Thumbs
go.
down for that.
Thumbs
right.
down. It's funny that you mentioned your dream about being Batista because I had a very similar dream, except I wanted to be Blue Tista.
right.
Oh, see, that's creative. Like I just was, playing Shut Your Mouth, and it was like, yeah, I like the guy that's 6 foot. I want to be 6'4".
Right.
Uh,
Who doesn't want to be 6'4"?
yeah, it would be great.
I think you just missed it. Like you're so
Right,
close.
like-
I was
So
gonna say,
close.
6'2.5".
Right,
6'2.5".
Elevator
You're
shoes.
just there.
Yeah.
You're just there.
When I'm in a wrestling ring, yeah, I'm probably about 6'4"
There you
There
go.
you go. Right. Exactly.
from the ground.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I signed up for the 7 weeks, started training, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. I was not good at it, which is kind of fun at this point in my life. I was like, oh, it's fun not being good at something, starting from the ground up and like
Yeah.
trying to get,
Mhm.
I'll use back.
Oop,
And
Oh,
then
lost you there for a moment.
are we back?
Oh,
yes,
we're
we're
back.
good.
We're
here.
back. All
We're
right.
We're back.
Just spamming the thumbs up emote.
Indeed.
So yeah, from there, then I pretty much was like, all right, let's go from here. Let's see where this takes. There's really no goals. It's very low stress, which is
Mhm.
like a very fun and interesting kind of like, because everything else I've done in my life, I've been like all in to like an unhealthy amount. Like I was
Mhm.
saying, with burning myself out at work because I just wanted to be really good and the best.
Yeah.
And so for this, I'm just like, let's just have fun, train. And it's a great group of people we met. And yeah, just going from there.
That's awesome. So talk to us a little bit about the actual Wrestle Factory itself there, and your training there. How has your experience been so far? Going specifically there.
It's been really nothing but positive. Like that was one of the main selling points for me is like, it's a great culture. Like it's just like this great group of people that are like kind of cheering each other on. And it's like, it's not this cutthroat. Like you always hear those stories, all those podcasts, because you never know what you're getting. Like going into the first day of training, I was like, what is this going to be? Like, are we going to be doing 2,000 squats,
Right.
16,000 push-ups and then go home? And
Yeah.
but it has been nothing but positive. It's so close to where I live that it's just like, and it's way more interesting than going to the gym for me and
Right. Yeah.
doing sit-ups and these push-ups and bicep curls and what other people do at the gym.
Right. So
Yeah, I've seen pro wrestling workout, and it is very different than anything else you could probably do.
Yeah, it's a legit workout. You will be sore because the
yeah.
thing about pro wrestling is that your body hates it. You do get used to taking these bumps and falls and flips a little bit, but it's like when I first started like training, like I'd take a full Sunday class, whatever, an hour, and then for the next 3-4 days, I couldn't really move. And I
Oh
would be
no.
like, yeah, it was like, this sucks, but I was determined to be like, all right, it has to get better at some point.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so like obviously I'm not just in it for like a workout. I think that would be lazy and in a weird way just to get a workout. However, pro wrestling workout is I would say it's a great way to, if you're looking for something to like spice up your training a little bit, and
Right.
you're like a pro wrestling fan, like it's a low commitment. Like you're not training to be a pro wrestler. You're just getting a little experience of what a pro wrestler is and
Yeah.
getting a
Yeah.
nice sweat. And the coaches there, that they will push you and get you in that ring and kind of challenge you a little bit in the best way possible.
Speaking of the coaches, how, in your opinion, does maybe Coach Ralph and Coach Danny's training styles differ from each other?
They are the same, but very opposite is like the best way I could explain it. Like they're both very good at like all aspects, but like, like Coach Danny is very good at like these little tiny things that you wouldn't really pick up on. So like if we're doing some training, like I might be like, hey, we have this transition, like how do we get there? And then he'll say it and I'm like, it's simple. Like, why was I overcomplicating this? And Coach Josh is like the big picture stuff, it's like my brain can't think like that. So it's like like the way he can put stuff together, and like even like the tidbits, like the best part of training for me, like I always try to be like the first person there and the last person to leave, because I think the information and like the you get from before and after training in any like, you know, school, work, whatever, is like the in between is like you get like the best information where you can kind of just pick somebody's brain unintentionally, like just casually talking, and then something will be said and you're like, oh, that clicks. But yeah, their training style is super different, opposites, but opposites attract. Especially in wrestling.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've had a conversation with the both of them at one time, and you described it perfectly, because they are completely different.
Yeah, they'll have a conversation with you, but they're having their own different conversation.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. So when you were looking to get started and you saw that ad, did you ever look at any other wrestling schools, or did you just decide like this is it?
Like I said, since I wasn't actively searching, it was like that was really the only one, and I came across because it was kind of like, oh, it's down the street from where I live. It's 7 weeks, you know, low risk. Like I didn't know it would be something I'm doing a year later and wanting to, you know, continue to do, just because I'm really having like a lot of fun. But yeah, that's only place I've looked into.
Wow. So here's a follow-up question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome was the choke slam I did?
Oh, hold on.
Cheap plug.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thumbs down.
Wrong
thumbs
button.
down.
No.
Oh,
Good
no.
Lord. Wow.
Oh,
yay.
Fireworks. You got fireworks and everything. Look at you, Ralph.
Oh, man, you are.
Fireworks and everything.
Jeez, you're killing it over there. Well,
This is the person who had to take the said choke.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Also, we'll coin that this is the Coach Danny button.
This is the Coach Danny button.
Yeah, he'll be thrilled to hear that.
Yeah, he'll be thrilled.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll pay the price on Thursday at Pro Wrestling Workout.
Right.
At 7 p.m.
All right, now we can bring it back to your early fandom. This is a question that we love to ask on here because of reasons I love to ask on here. Now, bringing it back to your early days, what was your very first pro wrestling memory?
See, I wish I had the cool answer where it's like I'm flipping through the channels. I turned it on and there was Hulk Hogan and The Rock face to face, and I was like the thing for me is like pro wrestling has always existed in my life. Like my dad was a fan, not like a huge wrestling fan, but it was Attitude Era. So like Monday Night Raw was going to be on. So my earliest memories of life is like, you know, on Monday nights, like sitting down to watch Raw just because I existed in the house and I was 5, so I didn't have a choice. It was on the television. But I was hooked, obviously. Like if Gangrel or Kane came on the television, I'd have to leave because I was afraid of vampires. And, and then I was like, hey, Dad, is it safe to come back in? And he'd be like, yeah, the entrances are over.
A healthy fear of vampires. That's
Healthy
a good way to be a wrestler.
Yeah, rightfully so. I was like, yeah, vampires, dead monsters, not a fan.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah. But from there, like I saw, you know, the Hardys, the TLCs. I learned to do a backflip because, you know, I saw Matt Hardy do a moonsault, and I was like, oh, let me try this on my bed.
Right.
And then Break said bed. And then by convenience, I had to sleep on a mattress for like a week.
Oh, no.
Opportunity to learn a nice swanton bomb on my brother. So, yeah, that was like the earliest memories. It's like just wrestling's always been there. Obviously, throughout like life, there was parts where I tuned out.
Okay.
Sure.
But I don't have that core memory of flipping through the channels, which I think a lot of people make that up.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Everyone's a liar. They're all liars. Every one of them.
DTA, man.
All
DTA.
stories. I'm like, all right, let me fact check you on this one.
That's right. I don't see that on your Wikipedia page.
We haven't mentioned it yet. Happy 316 Day, by the way. Just wanted to put
happy
that out there.
316
That
Day.
is correct.
It is 316 Day. He is rocking the shirt. There you go, rocking the shirt. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Love it.
I know. I wish I had a Budweiser to celebrate.
Right.
But however,
Steve Weiser.
Steve Weiser. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't consume carbs, so I haven't had one
Yeah.
since 2004. So.
Oh wow. Well,
Okay.
you're not missing anything because quite
No.
frankly, Budweiser's terrible. But okay. So growing up and watching wrestling, knowing that it was always on in your house, who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
The Hardys, no doubt.
The Hardys. Mm-hmm.
I was a big Matt Hardy fan. Most people were a big Jeff Hardy's fan, but I was like, nope, Matt Hardy.
Wow.
I think it was because my older brother was a Jeff Hardy fan, so he got to play as Jeff Hardy in the video games. So I was stuck with Matt Hardy,
Yeah.
and I owned it. I was like, yeah, of course, he's
right.
the best.
Right.
But yeah, definitely like the Hardy Boys was like, and Edge and Christian, like that whole tag team stuff was like, oh, that is amazing.
Absolutely.
I loved Matt Hardy when he was V1.
Yep. V1,
That
baby.
was my
Yeah,
favorite.
that was
like the
Same here.
classic.
Sensei of Matitude had Shannon Moore as his little MFer.
Yes. the MFR. I used to love
yeah.
that.
I'm pretty sure I had a Matitude follower, like a kid in the neighborhood. I was like, "You're my Matitude follower," and he was like, "I don't
That's
watch
great.
wrestling," and I was like, "Just young
Just go with
grasshopper, yeah, pay attention."
Yeah,
But
just
like
go
the
with
Matt
it.
facts were great. I loved
Oh,
the
yeah.
Matt
So good.
facts. Like the whole thing. I loved his entrance where it would like upload to like a Windows media player
Yeah.
screen.
Oh, yeah. So
Like I used to
cool.
love that. Yeah, that was a fun era of Matt Hardy. I used to
Yeah.
love that.
No, I would agree. Like that was like I was all in, and the cruiserweight stuff of him like trying to lose weight is like
Mhm.
Yeah.
golden. Nowadays, it's
I-
funny that he's a cruiserweight because when you
Oh,
see him
yeah.
in real life, it's like, oh, he's not. He's a
Right. Right. Yeah.
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 My
Times have changed.
I still contend that his match at WrestleMania 19 where he opened the show with Rey Mysterio, I think that was one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time.
Mhm.
For quality wise, I think
Yeah.
it's just really good.
Underrated. It's one of the, I've watched it a bunch. For some reason, I think I downloaded it on LimeWire many years ago. So it's like-
LimeWire.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
I haven't heard that in
It's like-
forever.
yeah, nice-
LimeWire.
Nice reference there. Dating myself.
Yes. If anyone from the federal government is watching this, he's kidding.
Right.
He's joking. We don't know what LimeWire is.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we have no idea. I have no idea.
Don't know.
What-
probably
no.
doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think.
I would
it's-
think
well,
not. I would think
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But let's dive in now to a little bit of royalty wrestling.
of course.
And your experience, your debut at Chivalry is Dead in a Capture the Flag match. How do you even prepare for a Capture the Flag match?
That's a good question. I haven't even figured it out yet because I didn't win. So you know,
Well, you know.
I was close.
You were
Yeah,
very
I mean,
close.
what a way to debut anywhere. That's like technically the official pro wrestling debut of Crash Maverick.
Yeah.
Is main eventing at Royalty Wrestling in a first ever Capture the Flag match. Completely spoiled. Like going into it, a lot of like self doubt of like, how do I deserve to even be in this this matchup in this setting, and like, am I good enough? But clearly, I wasn't. Didn't win.
Well, listen, participation trophy.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
In the record books, yeah.
Yeah.
Crash
And
Maverick participation.
so during that match, there is a scene where everyone's running around the building.
Yes.
And you guys run to the men's room and bust the door open, and there's a dude in there finishing business, and
Yeah.
you guys are all running in there. What was that like? Was he like freaked out, or
He
Probably scared. Probably scared.
he went against the wall and tried to get as small as possible. Like, if maybe they don't see me. Poor guy. I mean, like, it's one of those
Oh.
things you don't really think about. Like, what are
Right.
the odds someone
Right.
gonna
Well,
be
we
in there
were-
doing business? But
we were sitting at our table and we had a direct view of
Yeah.
the bathroom door when it flung open, and
And
I
there's
about
just a
fell
guy.
off my chair when I
Yeah.
saw a guy in there.
yeah, he did not expect to be a part of a backstage brawl. I don't.
Bombarded
Like,
by
yeah,
just
like-
wrestlers.
Yeah, 5 dudes just barging in, throwing punches, trying to capture this flag. I hope he knew a match was going on. I don't know.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Maybe he had no idea.
Yeah, he was just like, "Where am I? I'm at a wrestling event. Like, how did I
Right.
get here?"
What is this? What's
Yeah.
going on?
I thought they were trying to put the flag on the pole. Why are they in the bathroom?
Right. Why are they in the back?
Yeah, that was just a crazy match, and I hope that continues to be a tradition at Royalty
Seriously.
because they were. I know Josh. I know Coach was a little concerned about that match,
Right.
and it went off without a hitch. Like and the crowd was so into
So
it.
into
It
it.
was,
So into it.
It was one of those things. I was laying there at some point, and it was like everything was being reacted to like as you could like think it would. Like you never know, but like it was, and because it was such a good crowd that whole night that Chivalry was dead. It was just such a loud crowd.
They were hot the entire time.
Yeah,
The
like
entire
even
time.
being back there, hearing like the reactions, like the body slam when that happened and the room like exploded. It was like, oh wow, we have to follow all of this, and like it's the main event. Let's hope people are into it. And then once we started rolling and cooking, it was like, it was just it's just fun because it's like one of those things where it's like you're laying there, even though it hurts, and you just got Frankensteinered off of the top rope into another human being. It's like, oh, this is fun. In a weird way, this is way too much fun.
It's crazy too because it was for the weather that we had that day. It was snowing, horrible.
Yeah,
The weathers were
crazy.
the roads were bad. People showed out for this show. Like you had a good 200 people that said, "Screw it, we're gonna weather the storm and go to this freaking wrestling show."
I believe I forget who said it. It might have been Coach Danny. Hate to give him too much credit and put him over too much, but I think he was like, "Guys, we're gonna have like -5 people here," and I was like,
Oh God,
I don't think the math adds up there.
Yeah.
no.
There's
Yeah.
at least 6 of us standing here around the ring.
Yeah, it was.
but yeah,
it
I
was
did.
madness.
And I didn't really know until like the show started and like kind of peeked at the monitor. I was like, oh, it's a packed house.
Yeah,
Like I didn't know how many of like my personal friends and family were even going to be there because I was just like, guys, it's shitty out there. Like, don't force it. Like, but
Yeah, the crowd just didn't care, and it was. I mean, it was crazy at the door. People,
Yeah.
huge lines waiting to
Yeah.
get in, and just an unbelievable crowd. Even if it wasn't snowing, it still would have been a great crowd for that show.
yeah, it kind of set the bar, I think, in a good way.
absolutely.
'Cause it's like now this is, I think, the baseline in every show. You just want to keep growing and keep putting on way better shows, which that's, it's tough. Like that's a tough show to follow because
Yeah,
like we are back there. Like I was a fan for like watching a lot of those matches. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, this is really, like I said, then you get a little nervous because you're like, this is like, hopefully I don't trip.
right.
And then
Yeah.
everything is like, oh, now this guy sucks,
Right.
Well, if you're looking at the show as a whole, and all the matches were great, but I think the number one top performance of the evening goes to Big Dan Champion. Oh wait,
Yes.
he wasn't there.
Oh wait, my
Oh,
bad.
wait.
No comment. No comment here.
Yeah.
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 That was
He
so
was
early.
not
That was
there.
like a different day for me. It was like, 7
Yes.
p.m. to 9 p.m. That's totally a different time zone.
Yeah.
Totally out of reach.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, when you're not training, when you're not wrestling in the ring, when you have some sort of spare time on your hands, what do you like to do outside of the wrestling world?
Great question. As you can see, trying to be a cool guy with just having a guitar back there for my set design. So, like, I play music in a different life. Like I was saying off air, like a audio engineer, which was
Mhm.
like a hobby that I was trying to make a career. Spoiler: there's no money there either.
Okay.
And then just to like disconnect from work and even like training, like I've become a big disc golfer. I don't
Oh,
know if you
nice.
know- Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah,
It was
very
something
cool.
for a while. I was like, that's like an old person thing, right? You go out and throw a frisbee. And then I started doing it. I was like, oh, this is silly fun because you're literally just like crushing beers on a course, throwing
Yeah.
throwing a
Yeah.
frisbee. I'm like, this is ultimate. Yeah, talk about
Yeah.
30.
Question of Steve Weisers.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Weiser, which I don't consume because I haven't had a carb since 2000.
Right.
Right.
Right. 2003,
Wow.
4.
Yeah.
It was 4. Now it's 3. You know.
2000
Carb.
I like 2004. I had a Hershey Kiss, and that
Ooh.
it set me back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That one carb, man.
Yeah.
That one carb.
And the
Ru-
next 2 decades, I was like, all right, that's it.
Could have been carb free since 03 and you blew it.
You blew it.
Oh, so
That could have been a record of some sort.
yeah. Oh,
The worst
geez.
record of all time.
I can only imagine. So speaking of no carbs, so what is that like? I mean, how do you? I mean, what do you eat? Because like
Air. Just
I
the air.
I look at the refrigerator and just from looking at it, I eat carbs. Like, I don't know.
I have a very pathetic diet that
Oh,
I
God.
was actually with a group of friends yesterday that were like kind of roasting me because like my diet will be just baked chicken tenderloins in the oven, and they're like, "Do you season it?" And I'm like, "No, don't have time for that." Like if I'm gonna be
No.
dieting and like suffering, I want to suffer. Like it's
Right.
be
Just let me
enjoyable.
suffer in peace.
Yeah,
Wow.
like you gotta like pay the price, if you want to
Right.
attempt to even kind of look good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I do, but
Right. Right.
Jeez. Wow. That's insane.
Yeah,
I can't
very,
even
very
imagine.
sad. It's
It's very sad.
yeah.
Very sad. Well, you mentioned shut your mouth earlier. Are you a gamer now? Do you play games at all?
Not a huge active gamer. Like
Mhm.
there's like one night a week my friends and I will try to get together and just like game online more just so we can like shoot the breeze and like
Mm-hmm.
have a reason
Sure.
to catch up. But even as a kid, like I played the wrestling games, but I
Mhm.
spent most of my time outdoors falling out of
Mhm.
trees.
yeah.
Yeah,
Getting some
which
early practice for wrestling. Get
it
some early
really
practice
helps
for wrestling.
because like, Crash Maverick, he can fall and then he gets right back up. Like
That's
that's
right. That's right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
kind of where the thumbs up comes from. Like, hey, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
hey,
I'm
mom,
good,
I'm good.
guys,
Nothing's
I'm good.
broken.
I'm good. Don't I'm good. Yeah. So you play video games, and here's a question that we always ask, and we got to get an answer from you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean, don't influence this at all.
Never.
But
Never.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Always a PlayStation guy.
Okay.
Ooh,
Always,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right.
Cha-ching. Boom.
Ooh, all right, who's a PlayStation guy here then? That's you.
me.
Oh,
Yep.
That guy.
Yep.
and you're the Xbox guy.
He's
Well, I
the
have-
Xbox guy.
I pretty much have
Oh.
everything, but I did start with I pretty much have every Xbox except the first one because the first one mine broke and I've never got a new one. But I do have the 360, the One, and the Series X. But I do still have a bunch of other consoles because I do want to collect
Oh,
like all of
He's
them
a
one day.
collector. Yeah.
I do.
awesome.
No, I do collect. I do
Yeah.
collect.
It's better
Yeah.
than being like a PC gamer. Those people are the
Ooh.
worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a
You're
bunch
not a
of-
fan?
Bunch of nerds. It's coming from the huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Nerds.
See,
Nerds.
now, I full disclosure, I bought an Xbox One, and
Ooh.
my friends were all playing Final Fantasy 14 on their computers. And
Gotcha.
I did not have a gaming PC at the time, so I sold the Xbox One and bought a PS4 so I could play with them.
Oh.
And that's I mean I had PlayStations before, but
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah, I
that's
was
where it came
had a PS2 and then I
in. Mm.
went to PS4 years past. Like I think right before
Right.
PS5 came out.
Right.
And then I think last year I bought a PS5 because I'm like,
Yeah, me
why
too.
You're
not?
like, it's there.
Yeah.
Right.
It collects dust a lot of the time, but it's a great centerpiece in the entertainment.
Yeah.
scene.
It
Yeah.
looks
It
great
looks
right in the
cool.
middle, right in the center.
Yeah.
Right.
Looks cool.
People are like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's my spaceship. You didn't know?
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, I think everyone had a PlayStation 2, and if they didn't, they're
Yeah.
lying. Like
Yeah.
that
I
was
didn't.
the
I
was the
didn't.
system to have. Oh, you have one now?
I had a PS1. My brother had a
Ah.
PS2. My brother was the
Ah.
one who stuck the course and bought a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, like went
I
all the way
gotcha.
up.
Mhm.
Didn't miss a
was just-
year.
I was just locked in. Like if I had to change the buttons, I would be
You're like, I'm done.
play.
I'm
Yeah,
done,
I'm like, what?
right.
What do I do? I'm
like
lost.
when a group of people are playing like Wii or something or the Switch. I'm like, what is this in my hand?
Right.
Like,
What is this contraption? I
Yeah,
don't
well, I don't-
understand.
Yeah,
Is this even
I-
a video game? What do I do?
yeah. Can
Right.
I hook up my
I'm lost.
PlayStation controller. And they're like, no.
Heck, no, it's not that. Right.
Go do a backflip now.
So, talking about royalty wrestling, let's talk about that for a minute.
Mhm.
So, medieval themed. What do you think about the whole medieval theme of it all?
I think it's amazing, just from the standpoint of like, there's not to throw shade at any other promotion, but there's so much out there. So like,
Mhm.
how do you get the audience? Like, and it maybe the medieval thing might turn some people away, but like, I think if you go to a royalty show and as we continue to grow and like lean into it maybe a little bit more, it becomes unique. Like we're the only ones around doing something like this weird crossover thing that's
Mhm.
medieval, but then some dude from Hollywood, Florida comes out with sunglasses, but it's still works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And then the Holy Grail, it's like everybody has championship belts. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have the Holy Grail.
You have the
Yeah.
richest prize in our
And I-
opinion now, wrestling
Yeah.
history. It is the richest prize out
Oh,
there.
yeah, it's,
It is the coolest idea, I think, for a wrestling show to have not a belt, but a trophy, if you will, with the
Mhm.
Holy Grail.
yeah.
which I was looking forward to moving on in that tournament until I lost.
Yeah, that flag, you know.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of cheating going on in that.
Right,
match.
yeah. There's a
I
lot
think
of
somebody had like there was a second flag hiding somewhere. And
Yeah, there was a
somebody
lot of
cheating.
haberdashery.
Yeah, we went under
I'm
the
not-
ring, so there could have
Yeah.
been a second
there
flag.
could have been a second
You're
flag
right.
in there.
Wow,
There
this
could've-
is that I love that conspiracy. There was a second flag.
There was a
was a
second
second
flag.
flag.
Yes, there was a second
Oh,
flag
man.
on that show. Right.
It's probably
Absolutely.
still under the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, have you ever been to a Renaissance fair?
I have not, so I am like
Oh, okay.
ignorant to all this. However,
Mm-hmm.
it's the first time I'm like consuming this, and I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
I want to go to a Renaissance fair now. But
I think you guys would be perfect for that. I've been saying it since we had on Coach
Yeah.
Josh that you guys, if you guys,
You guys would.
yo, stage your course, keep doing what you're doing, you guys could be perfect for like a Ren Fair show or a few Ren Fair shows, and you guys can have the ring, and you guys would fit the entire vibe perfectly.
mhm.
Yeah.
And there's like one promotion around here that could really do that, and
Yeah.
that's Royalty. And also the
Exactly.
charm of professional wrestling in general, I think, is like Royalty could be anywhere.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't just have to be a Renaissance fair. It could, you
Sure.
know,
anywhere.
Could be in somebody's yard.
Right.
yes. Well, that would
Yeah.
be backyard. I think that would be.
Backyard, right, backyard. Someone's backyard.
Well, listen, you have to find somebody that has a front yard. So
Yes.
you could be the first front yard.
Front yard.
wrestling
Front yard.
promotion.
Yes.
Yard backyarders.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Front yard, backyarders.
That's a
Yeah,
great
that-
T-shirt that nobody
great
would
t-shirt.
understand. Yeah.
Right.
Front yarders and then backyarders.
Yeah, front yard,
Yeah, that'd-
backyard.
Yeah.
That'd be
There's
very-
a
that'd be
German
very
suplex
confusing.
that's going from the front to the back, and
Front to the back.
nobody
Right.
understands unless you're standing at the side, and then people are like, "Oh, it's a."
They're like, what is
German
this? What does this shirt say?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You would sell two of them. One of them
You
would be
just
me.
two. You would sell two. Right.
Yeah, I'm in, you know, I'm immersed in the nerd culture, but you know,
Right.
the medieval scene. I've been to the Renaissance fair, which by the way, not for nothing, but there's a big wrong side. There's a big pirate flag here because I'm a huge pirate fan, and
Yes.
I have a pirate costume, like an
Mhm.
actual.
Ooh.
I should wear. You know what? I should wear that to Masquerade Ball Brawl.
Well, you need to have the masquerade
Yeah,
mask too.
I got to get the mask.
Yeah,
but
you
listen,
gotta get
Would
the
the
mask.
eye patch count? Like,
I mean,
I don't think so.
I don't think
No,
so.
well,
That's not a masquerade
I think I
mask.
got to go full
That is
on
true.
with,
You gotta go full
but
mask.
my
yeah,
thing
but
is,
I-
if you lie enough, though, it could be.
well, sure.
I mean, you
know,
can make
I mean,
it. Yeah.
I make
I
some
get
things
in
to
there.
a masquerade. You know,
I get in there and I start talking like a
Yeah.
pirate, and
Right.
nobody's gonna question me. But
No one's
this,
gonna
this
notice you over
pirate
there.
especially at
costume.
royalty, there's no judgment,
Yeah.
judgment-free zone,
No, of course not.
This-
unless you're a bad guy.
No,
then-
of course. Right. Then
or a good
there's
guy.
that.
It's actually I lied. Wrestling
Unless
is
you're-
constant judgment. That's all we do.
Constant judgment. So
Yes, absolutely. But no, this pirate costume, I wear it to the Renaissance fair, and people think I work there. Like
Yeah.
it's legit.
like, do you work here? You're like, no.
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 You would have to change your name. It's not King Ralph. It's Pirate Ralph.
Right, Pirate
Well,
Ralph.
You know, I used to be Captain Ralph, but I sold the boat and picked up a
Right,
kingdom.
sold the boat
So
away.
Now I'm a king, but that doesn't mean I still don't have the clothes laying around. You know.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course. All right.
So-
So, what are some goals you have for the rest of the year 2025 for you as well as for Royalty Wrestling?
It's really just continue to get better, more comfortable. Like, obviously in royalty, it's like I just want to continue to work there, and like obviously I not in contention for the Holy Grail anymore.
Right.
However, in the future that could change.
Mhm.
Just got to keep showing up, giving thumbs up to people, and there was a fan vote where it was close.
You
It
were
was very
I
close.
don't know how you.
It
didn't
was
win
very
that, 'cause
close.
You were. Oh man, I
was-
voted for you.
I didn't vote for me, but I didn't say that.
Oh, did you vote for Pink?
I did vote for Pink just
Ah,
because
okay.
of the comedy of like forcing Pink to be in that match.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
what a burden for Pink to have to wrestle in
Right.
the main event again. That would be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just continue to get better, more comfortable, and just like being the best, finding who Crash Maverick is, and like not a final product, but like I keep saying V1, back to Matt Hardy, V1 of Crash Maverick is close. Like I feel like it's almost there.
Right.
So it's
Awesome.
really finding that V1 and then, seeing how he can grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to bring us to, Sean, your favorite moment of the show.
The last question.
The final
Yeah.
question of the interview.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sean, I know you. This is your thing. So take it away.
It is my thing. So,
Yes.
for you, Crash Maverick, what does pro wrestling mean to you, and what is the significance that it has had on your life?
That's deep. It's heavy.
Mhm.
Someone would
We
describe it
get
as heavy.
deep around here.
Yeah. I would describe it as something that's always been there, right? I said I've been a fan and then I've dwindled out of it, and then whatever, somebody's like, hey, you should check this out, AJ Styles is in WWE, and then I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Then you're back in. So it's like, even it's one of those things that throughout life, I think we all go through highs, lows, get a little depressed, but pro wrestling is just there to help disconnect. And the fact that at this point in my life that I am still involved in a different form now, like I
Yeah.
slowly not becoming a fan and trying to be, on the other side of the barricade, that it still has this big impact on my life, 30 years later is, I guess that answers the question. Like how, like it's always been there.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are going to take a brief break, but when we come back, it's time for upcoming events where we're going to find out where you.
What about
Let's see,
wait?
Crash
What about his top
Wait,
five main
what?
event?
Oh,
Top
I don't
five main
know the
event.
top
What are we
five.
doing?
How
Top
did I forget?
five.
Oh
How did
no!
you forget? Come on,
I
man.
don't know what happened. Listen, it's been a long day. All right. So, Sean,
We
tell
cannot
us
skip
again. Tell
your
us
amazing
again.
top five.
Yes, tell us again what we've got.
I don't know how can you out whatever miss your
How did
top five.
I just thought, yeah, we're cut for time. Segment
It's
got
been-
segment
no,
got cut for
absolutely
time.
not.
No, and
absolutely not.
And I was thinking about the top five too, and then I was like, oh, I don't know. what's
So,
going on. All right.
Sticking with it, we're doing top five action movies. If
Oh,
the
boy.
if the poster on his wall wasn't a hint, I'm excited to hear what you have for your top five.
The best part is that maybe it's a spoiler, maybe it's not.
Ooh,
Okay.
well,
Yeah, so of course Hollywood Crash Maverick, stuntman from Hollywood, Florida. There's only one. There's a lot of wrestling in Florida, so that's why he went in that direction.
Mhm.
However, obviously a big action fan, so that
Mhm.
that leads us into these top five. And going through this list, I was trying to set like what is an action movie, right? If there's
Yeah.
a gunshot or like a sword, right? It could be a punch.
Yeah.
sure.
I went with, I think, by the book action movie.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And as I say that, the first number 5 on the list is probably most people wouldn't even think of action. It's The Warriors.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Not Warrior, starring Tom Hardy.
No.
None of that. None of that.
No.
The
The Warriors. Yes.
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 1970 New York gangs. They're
Mm-hmm.
collaborating to team up, become a giant tag team, take over the city. Chaos ensues. The Warriors have to find their way back to their territory.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hell of an adventure. Speaking of the PlayStation, there was the Warriors PS2 tie-in game.
Right.
If you haven't
Right.
played it,
Mhm.
I don't recommend playing it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't aged at all. Like the controls are terrible. The way the camera moves, it's not.
Yeah,
Don't
not
go
fun.
back. But if you're a fan of the movie and the game and you've played it, go back and play it because the nostalgia will hit.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So that's
Awesome.
number 5.
Yep.
Number 4, I wanted something modern because when you think of like a top 5 list, for some reason I was going like nostalgia, going back
Right.
in time.
Right.
And I was like, I want to force myself to be like, what have you seen in the past decade that is not just to be on the list, but like is actually worthy? And I landed on John Wick.
Oh,
John Wick.
yeah.
Yes. That's
Yes.
a great movie.
It's like a movie you can sit down and watch with anybody. And
Mhm.
I was late to the John Wick party because Obviously, the big reason John Wick gets back into the action per se is because, spoiler, his dog gets murdered.
Right.
And I was like, I can't watch that. Like, I'll just start
Yeah.
bawling my eyes
Yes.
out.
No.
And my
no.
one friend was like, "We got this, buddy. We'll sit down. We'll get
Right.
through it." But the payoff from that moment, I was like, "Oh, this is one of the greatest action movies ever." But and I was like, so it has to be on the list.
Now, have you watched all of them?
I've watched. I think I haven't seen the last one.
Okay.
I think it just came out.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like-
yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
It's so tricky now. I feel movies aren't advertised. Like they just come out, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
you
oh,
just
there's
They just show up.
yeah, there's there's
Right.
5 John Wicks. Like,
Right.
so that's 4. Number 3 might be controversial.
Uh-oh.
Some people might say greatest movie of all time.
Oh.
I don't agree, but number 3 on my list of action movies, Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
okay,
All
all
right.
right.
Very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I don't think I have to go into any detail. Like anybody
No.
watching, listening is like they've seen it.
Right.
And plus the new Star Wars are way better than the old ones. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Yeah. But Phantom Menace is the best one of all.
Right.
No, yeah, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
This is where it's really difficult for me. The
Here
top
we
2.
go. Top 2.
Okay. All right.
Last night I watched these back to back, then back to back with a notepad taking notes.
Oh, okay.
And diagram, positive,
Wow.
negatives. Yeah, I was.
You really put some time into this.
Pretty
thing.
much
This
some work
became
into it.
way more than I thought because like
Yeah.
this is forever. That's top 5. There's no
Yeah,
changing.
there's no changing it.
No.
It's-
Number 2, the original Top Gun.
Oh,
and
fantastic
man.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic
Okay,
movie.
All right. Well,
Yes.
Obviously a big
Yeah.
influence on Crash Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is, and I'll explain why I was going back and forth between
Okay.
these two. But number
Okay.
1, Die Hard.
Die Hard. All right.
I
Okay.
probably watched that movie more than any movie in my life.
Okay.
Ironically or not, like it was just like something I put on. I consider it a Christmas movie. I know some people.
Okay. I was.
I'm
That was
with
going to be my very next question.
Yep, Christmas
I'm with
Eve.
you.
That is my tradition. Is I put on Die Hard. I don't care who's with me. We're watching Die Hard.
Nice.
And I've seen that, so many times. And obviously, I think Die Hard, Top Gun, for me, top 2. Why I want Die Hard number 1 is I think it's aged better. Like
Mhm.
Oh,
Top
okay.
Gun
Mhm.
is cheesy that if you're seeing it for the first time, it might be like a little hokey.
Right.
Some of the
right.
transitions and the music and like, Tom Cruise riding off in a motorcycle.
Right.
It's like a little bit much. And
Right.
even the dialogue,
Yeah.
it's like, it's more comedic.
Mhm.
If you don't if you haven't seen it in like your youth, where Die Hard, I think like it's aged well, like the lighting, the
Yeah.
dialogue,
Mhm.
the whole coverage. It's like, oh, this
Wow.
could come out today, and I think it would be
Yeah.
just as popular.
Mhm.
Uh,
Now,
Alright.
were there any ones that didn't make the cut? Did you have any honorable mentions?
Ooh.
a tough one. I mean, there was a bunch, but the one that hurt was Speed.
Okay. Wow. Good
Speed,
movie too.
I
Speed's a good movie. Yeah.
Really wanted this on the list,
Mm.
but it was that or Warriors, and I was like, personally, I was like, I like the Warriors more, and I've seen it more, but I was like, oh, Speed's so good though.
Yeah.
And then there's,
Yeah.
I'm forgetting obviously this guy. There's so
right.
many.
Rocky.
Oh,
behind
geez.
you.
All right.
But I was like, the original Rocky, I don't think I considered an action movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's
You could.
yeah.
It's
you
a bit of
could.
an- it's a
You could argue
it's
it.
an inspirational sports film.
Right. Pretty much.
You
That
know?
is it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you-
That was
All
my
right.
justification for leaving the guy that's been lurking behind me.
Right. It's been the whole time. Like. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of the Rocky franchise, which one is your favorite out of all of them?
Rocky.
Now
Four.
and when
Oh.
let's clarify. You have the 5 Rocky films. You have Rocky Balboa, and I think we can even throw the Creed series.
Yeah,
in
I would
and
say
just
that too, because that's
lump them all
because
together.
that's still
What is,
a part of the Rocky universe.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially that first Creed movie was very,
So good.
very Rocky, but yeah, so good. But yeah, Rocky 4.
Rocky 4.
Yeah, I just the
You already said it. You already said Rocky 4. That's
the
what it is.
soundtrack is.
Oh, the Russian national anthem. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect.
As a kid, though, I was not rooting for Rocky. The first.
Oh,
Rocky
really?
movie, I was like, oh, I like the. I was at the age where I think I was like, oh, bad guys are cool.
Listen,
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that because I have an Ivan Drago shirt. I could have worn it.
There you go.
So I bought an Ivan Drago shirt because a friend of mine and I went to see the anniversary edition of Rocky IV, the one he recut. We saw it in theaters because it only played for like one night. And we saw it in theaters and it was amazing. The only place you can see it now is if you buy it on Amazon Prime because it never came out on DVD. It's nowhere, but it is amazing. And I'm with you, man. I was all about Ivan Drago.
Yeah, just cool movie. I mean, just taking steroids. What a time!
Right, what a time to be alive.
What a time!
You know, yeah.
Like I said, I wanted to be Batista, and I was like, "No, that's how you do it."
Exactly, that's how you do it.
So, keeping with the Rocky theme here, Rocky V, yes or no?
I was almost going to say I barely count that as a Rocky movie.
Thank you.
It just
Thank you.
exists.
Tommy
who
Gun,
actually-
baby. That's all I got to say. Tommy the Machine Gun.
If you're watching the whole franchise back, you're skipping that one. If you're showing somebody the whole Rocky series, you're going, all right, we can go to 4 to Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, because honestly, if you watch Rocky Balboa, that film is so well done that
Yeah.
That is another.
It is.
Just great movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
It's
It is very much there.
Massive.
So you mentioned during your top 5, you said something about the greatest movie of all time. So what do you believe is the greatest movie of all time?
I don't have that answer.
Not answering it.
Too many movies.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite movie then? Like if you had to pick one,
I think it would be Die Hard. Just for
Okay, gotcha.
Just
Right.
the amount of times I've watched it, like probably a scary, unhealthy amount. Because that would, that's a movie that back when people were flipping through the channels, you'd see on TNT,
Right,
and it would just be
right.
It was that or like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Which could have also been on this list.
Right.
Well, not Tokyo Drift. I'm sorry. The OG Fast and the Furious.
The OG, the very first
Yes.
one. Right.
All right, so we're gonna play Desert Island here, but it's gonna be real simple because I'm gonna give you one choice. Now, if you were on a desert island and you had to take one of these franchises, would it be the Rocky series, the Indiana Jones series, Jurassic Park, or Back to the Future?
Oh.
Which film series would you want on a desert island?
Go through that list again.
We've got the Rocky series, we've got the Indiana Jones series, we've got Jurassic Park, and we've got the Back to the Future franchise. So
Let me ask my friend.
Ooh.
He's giving me. I got to go Rocky. I don't have a choice. There may be another
man.
Rocky poster over there.
Nice. Nice.
Would there be one that's a number 2?
Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Based
Because
on
I mean,
that,
we see the
on
love
that
of Rocky.
list, based on that list, or just franchises.
Based
in
on that
general?
list, yes.
Yeah,
Of
based on
those-
that list.
of those 4.
I'd go Back to the Future. That is
There we go.
That is my
There you go.
oddly enough my go-to airplane movie.
Oh, nice.
Not
Okay.
the movie Airplane, but if I'm on a
Not the movie Airplane.
not the movie Airplane. But if I'm traveling somewhere and I gotta like sit down and watch a movie, I'm always like, Back to the Future.
Of course.
'Cause I can fall asleep and wake up
Absolutely.
at any time and be like, I know where I am in this story.
Exactly. Right.
Yes, I'm a huge
Yeah.
Back to the Future fan. It is ridiculous, my fandom. I think Back to the Future, that series, because I'm all about time travel. Like I
Right,
love anything
right.
about time travel. And how can you go wrong when you have a movie like Back to the Future 2 and The Undertaker calls it the perfect movie? Like,
Yes.
How can you how you disagree with him?
Right. Right.
Is that a real quote?
That's
Yeah.
a real quote.
Yeah. That's a
yes.
real quote.
He did.
That's a
He
real
did an
quote.
interview, and he was talking about movies, and they brought up Back to the Future 2, and he said that's the perfect movie.
That's a real
Then
quote.
Yes.
I might have to change my answer. just
Oh boy!
Out of respect for the
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Get a Tombstone pile driver. For
Yeah,
Matt Green.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go work out later and then suddenly get grabbed and dragged to
Right.
Hell's Gate.
Oh yes, please. No, thank you. All right. Well, a tremendous top 5. I can't say I disagree with any of your picks.
Nope.
However, They Live didn't show up anywhere in it, so I'm a little disappointed. But that's all right. That's a tough one.
I said it,
you know.
it's Crash Maverick's list. It's
Yeah,
not
I got
the
you.
right list, but
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
it's correct.
It is correct.
It's not right, but it's correct.
It's not right, yeah, but yes. Okay. All right. So we tried this once before, and
Do
we're
us
gonna
again.
try it again because I don't know what I was thinking. My mind was on that top 5, I think, and I just went somewhere else. But we are
Beyond.
going to take a brief break, as we always do at this time after the
Right,
top five.
Right.
And when we come back after the top five, we're going to have upcoming events with one Crash Maverick. Here we go. Let's try this again. All right. So speaking of your trainer, Danny Rowe is our guest next week. So
Yep.
make sure that you
Bring it
come
down.
back.
There it is.
There it is. Yep. Make sure you come back and check out our exclusive interview with Danny Rowe next week. We're going
That's
to be
right.
talking Wrestle Factory, Royalty Wrestling, his immense career in the world of professional wrestling,
And his probably going to be the most infamous
Ooh.
top 5 on our show so far. Top 5 things
yep.
he hates about pro
Oh
wrestling.
my god. I wouldn't have guessed that, but yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, but how? I want to know how he narrowed it down to 5, because I think
Right.
in the first 10 seconds I watched a match with him, he had 5 things he hated.
Right.
Yeah. Number one now is because of my Danny
Yeah.
Danger button is going to be number one.
Crash Maverick.
Right. Number 1 Crash
Oh
Maverick.
man, that's terrible. Well, okay, so we've got Danny Rowe next week. Make sure you check out last week's episode with Nico Gray.
Yes.
This week we've actually got something else going on.
Yes, we
which
do.
is some exciting news.
Exciting.
On Wednesday, we are going to be doing a watch along of Chivalry is Dead. We're going to watch every match in its entirety, including Crash Maverick's performance in the Capture the Flag main event match.
That's
and
right.
we will be joined by our good friend Deuce Ex Machina
That's
to
right.
watch all of this. So we're super excited about that. That
Yes.
is going to be a lot of fun. So check out those interviews and videos. We've got tons of things on the YouTube channel for
Yeah.
you to watch and enjoy. We've got some really interesting interviews with people, so check it out. And we're going to be a few places coming up, so we should mention that.
Yes.
This
Yes.
weekend is going to be a huge weekend for us. On
Huge.
Saturday night, we're going to be in Paulsboro, New Jersey, at
Bell to
Monster
Bell.
Factory for Bell to Bell's Ring the Bell.
Woo.
And this is a stacked card. There's a lot of great matches on this card. So
Indeed.
come out and support women's wrestling. We're super excited
Let's
for that.
go.
And then on Sunday, we're going to be in Philly at the Old Pine Community
Wrestle
Center
Cup
for
3, baby.
Wrestle Cup 3. Labor of Love and Sean Henderson Presents are coming together again for another great show. And we're a sponsor of this show, Sean.
We're a
Did you
sponsor,
know that?
baby.
Yeah, we're a sponsor. So come on out, watch some great wrestling, support the Old Pine Community Center, and come say hi.
Yes.
We're always looking to say hi to people. And then the following week, we are going to be in Philly again,
Sponsoring another show.
sponsoring another show, Pro
Another
Wrestling
show.
Lucha's debut, Power Pro Lucha's debut. I do that every time. The Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. That is
Right.
a mouthful, but
It is.
It is a crazy event venue. Look it up online. You're gonna not believe
It's gonna
this
knock
place.
your socks off.
But Power Pro Lucha having their first show, Regeneration, and this one, as well as Wrestle Cup, these two shows are just stacked shows.
Stacked.
I mean, absolutely amazing. And then the big one that we cannot forget to mention,
Nope.
April 5th, we're going to be back at Sellersville, PA.
Masquerade
and
Brawl.
Royalty Wrestling will be there presenting Masquerade Ball. One match already announced: Castle Rolfenstein against all 4 members of the colony. At one
Crazy.
time, which I
Crazy.
can't even imagine.
Nope.
That's going to be a crazy show. But yeah, we're going to be there, and I'm sure Crash Maverick will be there as
That
well.
guy over there.
I
Yeah.
definitely will be there. Matches to be announced later, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
But yeah, no doubt I will be there and trying to get back on the winning streak. Well, I
Yes.
can't say winning streak. My streak is at zero.
right. Right now it's at a
Well,
0.
Listen,
Zero wins in Royalty Wrestling.
listen,
But,
you're starting a streak, so let's
Right.
hope it doesn't continue.
Be there for the start of the streak. That way
Yes.
you have the opportunity to say, I was there from the start.
Exactly.
I'm giving that to everybody.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So what else you got going on? Anything you want to highlight?
I mean, that's the big one is
Mhm.
April 5th.
Mhm.
We're got to start pushing that one hard because we have a
Yeah.
tough act to follow. As
Yes.
as your fan base will find out at the watch along that with Deuce, it's going to be interesting when he watches the ending of his match.
Right.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but that's going to be an interesting take. But yeah, it's really April 5th is the big one. Sellersville, 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. I would recommend you don't be late.
Yes, do not be late.
On time.
Don't be late.
The line is going to be out the door. Obviously, we want to get a bigger turnout this show than last.
Yes,
Sure.
of course,
Sure.
of course.
And we will have the link to purchase tickets down in the description. So make sure you grab your tickets now so you don't miss all the fun. This amazing company, this cross between Renaissance and wrestling, and I can't tell you how much fun these shows are. Like you have to just
absolute
come
blast
and experience it.
Biggest compliment I've gotten is like non-wrestling fans after shows being like, "That was awesome." Like almost like, "Oh, we've been missing out on this cool thing," and it's like that's like if you can win that audience over, then any wrestling fan I assume would be like, "Oh, of course, this is good quality."
Yeah. So you've been seeing the down at the bottom of the screen, you've been seeing the social media tags running across the bottom. So make sure you follow Crash Maverick. Make sure you follow Royalty Wrestling to see everything that they're doing. Come out and get tickets and see a great show April 5th from Sellersville. And it's a great building too. It's a lot of wrestling history in that building. So great venue, great company, and great interview today. Yeah, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming on. There you go. Got the thumbs up. You are welcome here anytime. It is
absolutely.
Yeah, this is fun. Like you guys said, it was super casual, like just talking wrestling with the boys. You can't beat that.
That's right.
Absolutely
That's right.
not. Well,
no, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, of course.
Anytime, man. It was a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to Masquerade Brawl.
Yes.
Gotta get the first W. So
there you go. All right,
those
we're
W's.
We're gonna be counting on that. We're gonna be there. We're gonna see your first W, get the first win.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to about do it here for us at the Opinion City Podcast for the Lord of the Thumbs, Hollywood Crash Maverick, for Parmesan. I'm King Ralph, and remember, kindness is free, so be kind to each other. God bless you, and we will see you next time.
Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. We had a ball making it. Thank you very much.